So you're finally there. You want to qualify from playing budget deck lists and moving on to real decks, big boy decks. But there's one change you can make that's bigger and more impressive than any other and will have the biggest margins, not only in how many games you will win at your local store and how many people you will publicly stomp whose decks are worth less than you, but it will also make your status higher. And as we all know, your status in a game of Magic is important. No more Sigma grind set, no more beta budget, we're alpha men now. You might have a volatile fjord in your mana base. It's a snow fetch land with land types that you can fetch off of fetch lands. Let's say you opened one when you opened your only Modern Horizon booster that you saved up for. You saved months, putting your pennies in a little piggy bank, getting ready to buy yourself one singular booster. At the back of it, there it was, a fetch land winking at you like some sort of suggestive little tart. We're going to replace that with a volcanic island. This is the one thing as a person moving from budget to non-budget that you really should strive for. Every other update is not going to give you the biggest equity in terms of status at the table. Look, Mana Crypt is also expensive, but you could have opened that from a recent pack, which suggests that you are a dirty pack buyer and not someone who spends hundreds of dollars on cardboard. This is about sending a signal. It's about intimidating the rest of the table by showing them that your wallet is bigger than theirs. Is that just a decrease in your bank balance in your pocket, or did you buy a volcanic island? Again, Ancient Copper Dragon can go to combat and it can ramp you, but you might have opened it in a pack. And opening cards in packs is the cheapest, dirtiest way to get better at Magic. Meanwhile, with a volcanic island, if you were to crack a fetch land and find this on your first turn and cast a Soul Ring off it, that Soul Ring is 20% better. Someone at the table will say, "Oh, is that a proxy?" And you'll say, "No." Of course not. Is my dad's trust fund a proxy? Poor people might think that if you're cracking a fetch land in someone's end step to fetch a land, is this really better than the fjord? Those people have probably never eaten caviar. Why are we listening to them? When someone makes a gesture or a comment about how expensive that land is, the fact that it might be more expensive than their entire deck, and I'm being serious by the way, the cheapest volcanic island you can get right now, which isn't from the anniversary edition, because no one buys MTG 30. Jokes aside, only idiots buy this shit. The cheapest real version of this is a revised edition Volcanic Island, which is $635, which is going to be more expensive than most people's decks at your game store. And that's how we like it. That's how we show that we have proper alpha energy, or just too much disposable income. But when they gawk and they ask, is that real? Is it really $600? Ask them if they own one. And if they say no, and if they say it incredulously, like, of course I don't, ask them how many avocado toasts they've had in the last year. Go on, make them say it. Avocado toast is the reason you don't own a volcanic island. Volcanic Island is a statement of your status and your ability to be a big boy. It means you either A, bought them when they were a lot cheaper than they currently are, or B, it means that you are big enough to make ludicrous spending decisions about luxury cardboard. Do you know I sold 2 of these during the pandemic? Yeah, I sold them to... I couldn't keep buying Warhammer and not selling something to make some of the... Because, you know, like just buying is bad. So I'd sold some and now they're worth like 30% more than what they were when I sold them. I think about that a lot. It is a statement that capitalism works, or at least it does for those that are in power. For you and I working our day jobs to be able to afford luxury cardboard, I don't know if that's really the definition of it working. It's nice when your old cards retain some value. It's even better when you buy an expensive piece of cardboard to show off with. When you kill someone at the table with a spell that you tap the volcanic island to cast, be sure to make sure you tell everyone. Be sure to announce that you are tapping volcanic island for a mana, and did you know this card cost me $300? I hope you enjoyed this comprehensive breakdown of the top 1 list of ways to improve your deck moving from budget to real Magic. Because the rest of the deck doesn't even need to be upgraded at that point. If you spent $300 on a land, you've done it. You can dust your hands off and say, look, Ma, I'm no longer budget. But if you haven't got $600 lying around to buy a volcanic island with to play in your casual deck that you play once a week down the store, have you considered just proxying one? And there's a really cool way that I like to proxy mine. I say it's cool because I came up with it and I'm a cool dude. But in my Be'lakor deck that plays one single original duel, but I don't own enough bad lands and similar to Haven deck as well, I actually proxy it by taking one of these fetchable lands. So in this case, a geothermal bog from Dominaria United. And then I just cross out the word enters the battlefield tapped. I also cross out its name because it's effectively a Badlands. This will be a Badlands if anything were to affect a Badlands, and stops me playing a second Badlands in my deck. It's the same thickness as a normal Magic card, and now you have a fetchable Swamp Mountain in your deck. And as long as everyone at the table is okay with it, it's not going to really split any hairs or upset anyone, right? If you want to see some videos where I actually take the game seriously, here's one now. And if you use a Volcanic card in one of your decks, I don't judge you. I've got a Volk in one of my command decks. I still own one where I kept hold on to it after buying it years ago. Trained a load of stuff in it at GP to buy it. Those were the days. Anyone remember GPs? Huh.